You have any regrets serving with Yaya Bello?
Not at all. It was great experience for two young men being thrust into the positions of power, and then new direction, as the name implies, revolutionize most of the policies, programs of states, so that it can run as it should run. So, yeah, no regrets for serving with Yaya Bello. There could be some issues, but no regrets at all, because it has given me opportunity to learn, to grow, to network, and it has given me a national face.
Interesting, but you don't feel betrayed by him when he did not support your ambition to becoming a governor?
Let's say he did make some of us go pick up our forms.
He told you to pick it up?
To run for primaries.
Did you tell him you wanted to run?
I never told him. He rather, 4 years before 2023, he was the one who called me and said, "You'll succeed me. Get prepared." And of course, I planned, I worked, and when it was time, he gave all of us opportunities, about 10 of us. 7 of us picked up the forms from the cabinet. At the end of the day, his heart and his choice was with the current governor, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo. So when he broke the news to me a day before primaries, I told him, "You are the boss. You are over me. And what you see is what I see. Let's go get the job done. But I hope you're not making a mistake." There were no issues. And then we went to the field and did our best for our candidate.
How did he tell you?
Yeah, he called me privately and we spoke.
On the phone?
No,
physically.
to face, yeah. And
what did he say? He said, "I'm not going to use you."
He said, "Let's send somebody else, one of us." And he gave some reasons. One, surprisingly, he said my capacity was too much. And I don't know whatever that meant. Secondly, he did say that my people of Kogi East do not really like me because I supported a non-Igala himself for power. Yes, that was the perception, but I think my people love me. And finally, he did say there could be other roles that he would have at the center, and he would love me to serve with him in that role. So it's all about service. So
no argument. You didn't debate it.
he was the boss.
But how did he come to you as a person when he dropped that on you?
I felt it's not God's time. Maybe there's something bigger ahead.
You almost shed tears.
No, I never did. I'm a man of faith.
But it was painful.
It was shocking and, would you say, disappointing? Because when a friend gives you his word, you expect that he should be bound by his word. So that was true. But humans are humans, so we moved on. And I did commit to him that I was going to work for the party and work for my candidate, and I did work for our candidate. And he's there today and serving.
But if you look back, from chief of staff to deputy governor, so that ascension in your mind at the time was looking like, I'm gradually getting there. But all of a sudden, that was truncated the day before primaries. Is that what it looked like? Yeah,
that was what it looked like. But again, it was an opportunity to serve in 2 critical offices in a span of 8 years. I mean, the experience is unbelievable. Being a deputy governor gave me that opportunity to mix up with governors and my colleagues, deputy governors, beyond Kogi State. As a chief of staff, my functions were more limited to just the state. But as deputy governor, it gave me a wider reach network. And of course, that helped me to build relationships across and beyond Kogi State.
You were solidly behind Yaya Bello's presidential ambition.
Yeah.
And looking back at those years of loyalty to him, do you think you are adequately rewarded for all your service, your loyalty, or you think it was taken for granted?
God rewarded me by placing me on those platforms for Nigerians to see me, know me, and know what I'm capable of doing, my potentials. So that's rewarding. Whether I was rewarded by other means, either position or entitlements, I don't want to dwell on that publicly for now. But I can tell you categorically that if you ask me, I would say God has a better plan for me. Today, I'm back at the national level, interacting 6 states and the FCT in a South region with 5 states. So, you see, that service has put me in a place to be where I am today. So, yes, no regrets.
If you look back, it was a useful government.
Very useful.
Yeah, young governor, young chief of staff, and there are those who doubted. So these young people don't know what they are doing. No, they will mess up things. And there are those who say, oh, it is the time of the Nigerian youth. And there are those, in fact, who have said that, yes, it was youthful government, but there are those who say that both you and Bello were not the kind of examples for the agitation of youth in politics. Some of them even say that you disappointed them while in power.
I think you would say the team. What were our achievements? There are many. I can reel them out. We had a robust civil service reform that's paying off today. And there are infrastructure in that 8 years across the 3 senatorial districts. I mean, real infrastructure. Roads, institutions. I mean, within 8 years, the government that I served instituted 2 new state universities. Today we have 3, and they are functional, admitting students, graduating students, and development and infrastructural development are going on in those institutions. So it's perception. Perception can be wrong. Perception will not match reality. The reality did say, within 8 years, young men who were not too experienced in public service got in, chose young men, a young team, and we delivered on our promises.
You didn't think that you made mistakes?
There are mistakes, of course. There are mistakes. I mean,
you didn't think that you, at some point, disappointed the Nigerian youth population who thought that these are the phases of youth in politics?
I don't think so. It's perception, like I said.
Especially the way you fought back, you and your principal, against opposition voices. There are those who said that you were brutal. Both of you were brutal in the manner in which you treated opposition.
I think you would want to narrow it down to everybody's experience. I come from Ogugu in Olamaboro local government.
And it's a hotbed of politics.
But all through my tenure and all through elections, there are no incidents.
I've covered elections in Kogi State.
There are no incidents.
I've traversed the length and breadth.
Killing, violence. In Olamaboro local government,
Olamaboro is a hotbed of Kogi politics.
And I'm saying that there are no incidences.
You can mention quite a few places where politics are intense. Doesn't mean that they have to kill or maim or whatever, but it's a hotbed.
Campaigns. Yeah. Engagements. Convincing people. It's not child's play. It's not a tea party.
That was the reason why you and your principal were brutal to opposition.
Not brutal. Using logic and convincing ability to tell people why they should go your way. And on elections day, they will go your way because they believe and trust in you. So in Olamaboro, excellent. No incidences.
But this, you say it's perception. And there are long list of examples of those who played in opposition in Kogi State at the time. And who will not have good stories to tell about Bello and Edward Onoja in the manner in which they were treated.
If you don't win, if you don't succeed, you would naturally not be happy. You must find an excuse to explain your way why you lost.
But in the elections that were conducted in your time, there were huge violence.
I'm saying that where I supervise, where I vote, where I engage.
You're talking about one place. I'm talking about the entire state.
I mean, there are different leaders in charge of different locations. The governor is only at Okene on elections day, just like I'm in Olamaboro. And like I said, you cannot pinpoint this violence.
Would you say that's the reason why you were brutal against opposition?
We're not brutal. Edward Onoja, was not brutal. And I think my government that I served was not brutal. But in winning, we win our elections by convincing people.
By all means possible.
I wouldn't say by all means possible, by legal means possible.
Whatever you did to Natasha Akpoti, whatever you in that administration did to Dino Melaye, they're on record the manner in which you treated opposition.
Kogi West, Kogi Central. I come from Kogi East.
So, but it's under you. You are the strategy man. You are the hems man. You are the one who is planning all the strategy for Yaya Bello. And when you during the elections,
no, I'm saying
the elections that you participated in that brought back Yaya Bello and the subsequent ones as a running mate, those were brutal elections. Those were the elections that countries like the US and UK were saying that they were going to enlist people on a no-flight list into their countries.
My name is not on the list. My name can never be on the list.
But why were there violence in those elections?
I'm not
an election that you strategized.
I'm not in the locations. I wouldn't.
But you are one of those who planned it.
My strategy is go convince people to bring them on board to vote for you.
You are the one
and then when you leave that space, somebody else's strategy would mean we have been mandated to get the numbers, but we will only get the numbers by this method. In my own area, never by that method.
But why does it look like, or why did it look like the Yaya Bello administration or politics? I mean, let me say the Yaya Bello politics, which you took a huge role, you played a huge role, was that of politics of, I don't take nonsense. I would treat opposition with brutality. That was that's the perception.
You're repeating this brutality, and I'm telling you that, yes, I was chief strategist. And the strategy would be, rather than campaign just at the local government level, go to the people's face-to-face, at the grassroots, the communities, engage them, convince them. And I did that.
Were you proud of the things you did in the Yaya Bello government?
A lot of the good things that we did, yes, excellent.
What about the bad things that happened?
Some things may not be viewed as very excellent in the eyes of the public, but in my area, you know, like I said, when you devise a strategy, you should allow that strategy play out the way you want it. In my area, I can tell you, you can have issues of violence.
But are you proud of what you did?
Substantially.
Yaya Bello. Are you responsible for some of the actions of government?
It's a teamwork.
So you are responsible.
Take the credit, you take the blame. So I would own my own portion of it. Yeah.
So because the EFCC is after Yaya Bello now, and there are those who say, for those things that they're chasing Yaya Bello for, you are also part of that.
Shemun, I think the matter of EFCC and Alhaji Yaya Bello are already in matters before the court of law. And it is the court that has the right to prove whether you are innocent or guilty. I would rather not prejudge as a person, but like I said, I served as a public officer under His Excellency Alhaji Yaya Bello, Chief of Staff, Deputy Governor. And I'm back in the system, and to be back in the system, in the office that I sit today, you go through all the vettings that needs to be done. And I think for me, because when it comes to issues of finance, you can only know as much as your role permits. I would leave the matters of EFCC to Yaya Bello to the courts.
Would you look the people of Kogi State in the eye and will say that you people left Kogi State better?
Absolutely. And I would say why. One, a reformed civil service, the engine room of the system. Two,
when you say reform civil service, the civil service that were being paid instrumental payment, salaries.
Functional, weeding out those who ought not to have been there in the first instance. So that being said, infrastructure, meaningful, lasting infrastructure. I just pointed out one. 2 tertiary universities within 8 years. Model hospitals, roads in the 3 senatorial districts. In my own community, Ogugu, where I come from, I mean, the world can testify. Attraction of federal institutions. In my community, we have a federal institution today. And I think 2 major roads in my local government, and some other roads in my senatorial district, and roads scattered across Kogi State.
Including the excavated road that leads to Natasha Akpoti's
Yet again,
community.
you go back to Kogi Central. People are in charge of that region.
But that's when you were in power.
On election day, you are where you should vote. You should not have influence of where you are not. You cannot now take responsibility for those actions.
Is that political exigency?
That is not politics to me. That can never be politics.
And what was that?
That to me is even making her more popular and gaining more sympathy.
By the government of the day,
Those actions,
excavating the road that
those
leads to...
actions will make her more popular, more loved, and then give her victory.
But why would government destroy the roads that spend the people's money?
I said I'm not there, so I cannot say so.
But that's what happened. The government said that they excavated because of security reasons, so that people will not be able to move.
Unfortunately, that's not the strategy that would work. Rather, it would only build sympathy for the person you're doing against, and the result showed.
That was an error, right?
Absolutely unstrategic.
If you were not able to advise the governor at the time about that,
I didn't even know that would be a part of a strategy. I would never have sanctioned it.
Are there things that were done under that government that you thought that maybe you shouldn't have done it when you guys were in power?
Yeah, you can't be perfect.
What are those things?
Maybe you could say the fallout of some of the exercises of the screening exercise, some of the delays because of paucity of funds. But towards the third year, when funds came, those backlogs were cleared. And within the period of pain, yeah, they were not too perfect. But when it was cleared, everybody rejoiced. So that is one.
How do you feel? Because there are those who felt this was a very powerful Edward Onoja as chief of staff. He became a deputy governor. A lot of people would thought that, maybe he would be more powerful. But there are those who said that was even worse, that you were made something like a spare tire. You were in fact relegated. You were silenced with that position. How did you feel?
You say positions and titles of office don't make the person. Rather, the person makes those offices. There were chief of staff before I came to Kogi State, about 6 of them. I'm the 7th chief of staff. That office was not something people really fancied. They don't even know how it functions. But when God gave it to me through Bello, by virtue of the work I did prior to our elections, I revolutionized that office, and it became the office that everybody wanted to become.
Even when it looked like you were going to be silenced?
No, I'm talking of the chief of staff position.
Okay.
And then when opportunity came, and I was elevated as a running mate, and we won the election, I became deputy governor, it gave me the opportunity to learn a new task, learn the ropes of politics, survive the conspiracies that comes upon that office, and I did survive it excellently. That's why I'm here today.
But when you realized that this was maybe designed to silence me, this was made to relegate me and keep me in the back room, how did it feel for someone who had worked that hard in the first term and through the campaigns?
I sincerely will tell you that I didn't see it that way. I never saw it that way.
But it felt that way because the perception was that all of a sudden, Edward Onoja is not as powerful as he used to be. Edward Onoja is not as vocal. Edward Onoja is not as seen. Edward Onoja's impact is not being really felt as he used to be in the first term. Politically, you would feel somehow, didn't you?
Let me explain this. As a chief of staff, my roles, my functions were basically limited to Kogi State. And that, would I say, cages you. But it gave me an experience to be so elevated to deputy governor. That role exposes you. It's a position of responsibility, not authority. But if you know how to play your cards, it helps you to network. It helps you to sit with the people who make decisions that a chief of staff would not have an access to do. And if you are futuristic, if you are not somebody who wants to be localized, you would embrace it, optimize it. And when the moment comes, take the opportunities and run with it.
So you didn't regret being a deputy governor?
Not at all, not at all. In fact, if I was just an aide, again, I could have been tossed out with just a phone call. But that role, being a deputy governor, limited the ability to just throw you away. It was more like a shield. Because at that period, conspiracies became thick and massive. That immunity helped and kept me.
The role of deputy governor and the title of deputy governor,
Yeah.
there are those who have occupied it who say, look, he's just a spare tire. He's a useless office. He doesn't allow you to function. If you have your way, would you make way for an adjustment or a review of that office to be more functional?
For the growth of the nation, for the efficiency and effectiveness of governance and government, I would say that the National Assembly, working with former deputy governors, should be able to tweak the Constitution to give some semblance of the kind of roles a vice president would have in country, just for a deputy governor too, because sometimes it's not too, except you know how to play your cards and you are temperate and a little bit strategic, the conspiracies are thick. And to survive it, you need God, you need wisdom, and you must be savvy. I survived it.
That position is very slippery and very subservient.
Even if the governor and the deputy governor were siblings,
it could cause a fight.
You are the first person suspect. Because you know what happens. If anything happens to the governor, you're the next in line. So naturally, the principal would really not be too comfortable with your person. Even if you're ready to put your head on the table for him, he will still have, like I said, even if it's among two siblings, it's just the way it is.
So there are those instances that all of a sudden the governor was suspecting you, or he was uncomfortable, especially for someone who was as powerful as you were.
I would say people can generate issues. You just need to be on top of your toes to survive it all. I did survive it. Out stronger, more experienced, and ready for greater assignments.
You suddenly stopped talking about Yaya Bello. It doesn't look like you're forgiving him.
Forgiving him for?
The offense that you took for not making you the candidate of the APC.
Is actually,
for picking Ododo over you.
I would say it's his prerogative as the leader of the APC to make his final pick. What I would say is you don't promise what you're not ready to deliver. It destroys trusts. And then it destroys relationships. Say what you mean and mean what you say, especially when it relates to friends.
So you were both friends before becoming...
12 years before.
Before he became your principal?
Exactly.
So after that situation, the relationship became frosty?
After we served together to the last day, and everybody exited and followed the path that God has created for them.
So you are really not in a good talking terms right now?
I'm not serving under him, so it won't be a daily affair for us to be relating. And we just felt there should be space. There should be space. And
so you have given him the space?
The space, yeah. Like I said, I isolated myself for a very good period of time.
Are you able to forgive him?
For those actions, by way of my faith and my creed, if you don't forgive, you can't move on. If you don't forgive, you can't even fly.
Well, have you forgiven Yaya Bello?
I believe I have, from my heart, I have.
But you don't trust him any longer?
Once you destroy trust, it's very, very difficult to build. Very, very difficult to build.
But are you happy now?
I'm free.
Free from?
Looking forward to greater things. And then adding value to the current governor in the areas I can, and then serving at the level that God had placed me today. I'm now having a new principal, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I'm serving him.